everybody, and welcome back to the channel for this week's Toolbox safety topic video. Before we get started, make sure that you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel where you will find additional videos of this nature, along with other safety related videos and leadership training videos. Well, this week is the second video in the series of 4. In the last video, we talked about why to be concerned about fall hazards and the mentality that we need to address concerning fall hazards. Now in this video, we'll be talking about some of the potential fall hazards you may run across during your daily work activities. Now this is a PowerPoint presentation that an organization developed with a Susan Harwood grant. Now Susan Harwood grant is a grant that OSHA gives out to institutions and I think also individuals. It's money they give them to create safety training material. And I'm using one that I found on the website, the OSHA website, which is a valuable resource for training material, and it's on fall hazards. So we'll go through these this PowerPoint talking about potential hazards you may find on your job site. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Fall hazards, fall prevention in construction. Now you can find this video. It's been developed in both Spanish and English for the construction industry. These presentations focus in fall hazards in construction. Now, this training material will cover fall hazards seen regularly on construction sites and will focus on methods for the recognition and prevention of these common falls. And that will be the third video after this one. All right. Now, fall hazards, a quick overview. In the left column, you'll see over here you'll see fall hazards, and in the right column you'll see accident prevention measures. We're mostly going to be concentrating on these fall hazards today, and in the next video, video 3, we'll be looking at the accident prevention material. Anyway, there's fall hazards concerning building structures, exterior construction areas, scaffolds, stairs, and ladders. Now there are a whole lot more kind of falls you can experience on a job site. However, these ones that we'll be talking about are the ones most commonly investigated by OSHA that create the most incident reports or accident reports or fatalities. So that's why we're going to concentrate on these particular ones. All right. Now, falls are one of the greatest hazards on construction sites. It is still the #1 killer of construction workers and the #1 cause of injuries. Now, the program will help you recognize common fall hazards. The symbols will tell you if the solution in the picture is either safe or not. Of course, the green check means it's safe, and the red circle with the hash mark in it means that it's unsafe. Some fall hazard statistics. Each year, workers die from falls. Now, these are from 2015, and you can go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and get current numbers, but we'll just use these as an example. Total deaths from falls in 2015 were 648. Now, deaths in construction was 298. A total of 46% of deaths in construction are from falls, and falls account for approximately 13% of all occupational deaths. Now, fall hazards. Fall hazards can be found on every construction site, from building structures to exterior construction areas, scaffolds, stairs, and ladders. Building structures. Work conditions 6 feet or more above lower level require the use of fall protection. And that would be unprotected sides and edges, leading edges, excavations, and walking and working surfaces. As you can see here, there's an individual standing there, and that fall is far greater than 6 feet. So he's in a dangerous position and could be, if he fell, he could be injured or killed, and he'd definitely be cited by OSHA. You see this worker here, he is also over 6 feet, and he does not have any fall protection. And I've heard the story, well, he's got a mid-rail right there. That is not the appropriate mid-rail, which we'll learn in video 3. Building structures. When working at a height 6 feet above the lower level, you must use fall protection. I've seen this a time or two where the guys use a scissor lift to get to the next highest elevation and then climb out of it. Well, these guys have no fall protection on. None of them have any fall protection on. Number one, if there's engineered anchor points in the scissor lift, they must be wearing fall protection to ride the scissor lift. So they would have to use either personal fall arrest systems or guardrail systems in this situation. When working at heights of 6 feet above the lower level, you must use fall protection. Here these guys are right here. They're not using any type of fall protection, and they've got a considerable drop behind them. So they would be in violation. They would be in big trouble, and OSHA would definitely cite them and the company. All right, here we have a leading edge or a rooftop, and you can see that these two guardrails here that should attach behind this job box are detached. All right, guardrails must be maintained when working 6 feet above lower level. All right, damaged or missing guardrails must be fixed immediately. Then we have some exterior construction areas. Falls from a short distance can result in a serious injury. Just as many injuries occur from falls of greater than 30 feet as from falls less than 10 feet. All workers must be protected from falling onto sharp materials. This is rebar for concrete forming. If this gentleman was to fall off, he could be impaled by that rebar. Here's an open hole. All open excavation and pier holes must be guarded or protected. And then we have some scaffolding. We see here in the bottom that this scaffolding is properly constructed. And then you have supported scaffold with guardrails, an access ladder, and then we also have a thing called powered work platforms. That would be boom lifts, scissor lifts, things like that. Scaffold bases must rest on a base plate and a mud seal. The base plate is designed to level and support the scaffold. Only work from scaffolds that are properly constructed and supported. Here it has no base plate. I don't think it looks like it's not even on a mud seal. So that's a very dangerous situation. It's that soft ground and it gets a load, that leg could sink and the entire scaffolding could come crumbling down. Now, scaffolds used in stairwells must be properly constructed. Well, I'm not sure what is under here. I don't see a base plate on that. And I don't see that it's more than 10 feet, so I don't see a mid-rail here, even though this is a Baker scaffolding. He is greater than 10 feet. When working on scaffolds 6 feet above lower level, guardrails must be installed. Here they've taken the 2x4s and put the mid-rail and the top rail, and of course there's a toe board running along the base there. That's also a requirement. Never use scaffolds that do not have proper guardrails installed. No guardrail anywhere. Easy to fall from that, especially if it's a little wet or some snow or something like that, or lose your footing from doing masonry work by stumbling on some broken or loose masonry. Scaffold platforms must be fully and properly planked. Here they've shortcutted it and just used one board, so that's not a proper scaffold. Never stack blocks, bricks, or use ladders on top of scaffolds for extra height. You can see this guy is doing the wrong thing there. Workers must have a safe way to access the scaffolds. You cannot climb the cross bracing. OSHA will cite you immediately for it, and the employer. And me as a safety guy, you have to deal with me as well if I were to see that type of behavior. Very dangerous, and it's against the standard. Never use blocks, bricks, walkboards, or other unsafe methods to access scaffold. Use only ladders, and you can see it right here, designed for use with scaffolds. The ladder must be firmly secured to the scaffold. Now we'll talk about powered work platforms. And powered work platforms include man baskets on a forklift, and now that man basket has to be designed and authorized by that forklift manufacturer to be an attachment on that forklift. And I doubt very seriously any forklift manufacturer is going to authorize any type of that man basket attachment for their forklift. And then you have aerial lifts, and then you have scissor lifts. Always make sure you have proper fall protection and training before using powered platforms. Okay, you see this guy, he's climbing on the mid-rail, he's fixing to exit the basket, and he's not tied off in any shape, form, or fashion. And as I said before, it's a standard, it's in the standard to be tied off when you're using a scissor lift or a man lift. Use only equipment that is designed for lifting personnel. This guy right here, he's going to ride the pallets up. I have seen that a time or two, and there were some consequences. Fortunately, nobody was injured when I witnessed it, but there were consequences. Stairs. Stairways must have a stair rail along each unprotected edge or side. No stair rail. Stairs that have walls on both sides must have at least one handrail on the right hand side when climbing down. Also, never use stairs that are not complete or unsafe. These are the pan type, and there's no filler in there. Years ago, before I knew any better, I tried to ascend some steps like that, and it was reckless and dangerous, so I can understand that standard very plainly. Ladders must be, now we're talking about ladders. Ladders must be inspected prior to use. Now, to inspect a ladder, the labels must be legible so that you can determine the capacity of those ladders. So if you do an inspection and that label is missing or illegible, it cannot pass inspection, and therefore it cannot be used. Make sure you protect those labels on your ladders. Ladders must be kept in a good condition and a safe location, not stacked in a debris pile or thrown to the side, but securely stored and safely stored. And do not stand on the top rung of a ladder, nor this second from the top. Is prohibited under the standard for an individual to be standing here or here on a ladder. Read labels on a ladder for instructions to ensure proper use. The different ladders have different capacities and different configurations for different uses. Make sure you understand how you're using that ladder. Always maintain good footing on a step ladder. Okay, this guy's leaning back a little far. That could be hazardous, but they say it's okay. He's got both feet on it, and he's not above the second rung. Make sure you use the correct size ladder for the work that's being done. Proper height, and it has the proper capacity rating. Once again, always use the right equipment for the job. Ladders, lifts, or scaffolds. Here we got a guy who just didn't hit one of two things. He didn't have the proper equipment, which is a shame on his employer, or he had the right equipment at hand and he didn't want to go get it, so shame on the employee. Always use the right equipment. Never straddle a ladder. Never sit on top of a ladder. An A-frame ladder must be fully opened and locked into position. This gentleman right here is using this ladder in the wrong way. Use ladders only for their designated purpose. Use ladders on stable and level surface to prevent accidental movement. Looks here, it doesn't have the foot out, and this side over here looks to be missing a foot completely. Well, he's got that one on a rock, so he's in all kinds of precarious situations that could lead to an injury or potential death. Also, ladders must be positioned at a safe angle to avoid potential fall hazards when climbing. Here's the ratio, 1:4. And extension ladders must extend 3 feet over the landing for safe access. This is a requirement right here. And it should also be secured at the top as well. When using a portable ladder for access to an upper landing surface, the side rails must extend 3 feet above the landing surface. Okay, here's proper use versus improper use. This is the proper angle. It's hard to see in this picture exactly what's going on here. It looks like it's got a missing or broken leg, or it might be on the other side of that wall. But the angle is proper, and you can see it based on this diagram right here on the side of the ladder. It gives you a pictogram to tell you the proper angle. Where this one over here on this side is definitely stretched way too far out with too shallow of an angle. Maintain contact with the ladder using both hands to keep a safe grip. We don't want to be carrying something up a ladder with us. Face ladder when going up or down, and never climb a ladder when carrying any material. And then we have job-made ladders. If you're fortunate enough to see one of these, they're normally built pretty sturdily, and they're very useful. Steps must be equally spaced, no missing steps or rungs, no sharp edges or nails sticking out. Never use a job-made ladder that is damaged or missing steps. Only use a job-made ladder that has been properly built. Job-made ladders must also be constructed so that no nails protrude or sharp edges exist. Nails and sharp edges can catch on clothing or shirt or clothing or whatever equipment and cause a fall. Now we're going to have a little quiz. Before using a ladder, inspect it for which of the following: cracks in the frame, broken or missing rungs, oil, grease, or other substance on the rungs, or all of the above. D is the correct answer. Question 2. Job-made ladders may be used if the steps are equally spaced with no steps missing and no sharp edges or nails sticking out. True or false? The answer is true. Question 3. When erecting scaffolding, the base plate must be placed on what? A firm foundation, cement blocks, soft dirt, or wood blocks? A firm foundation. Question number 4. When working on scaffolding, you need a little more height. You must do the following: stand on a sawhorse, jump, erect another section of scaffolding, or use a ladder. I hope everyone knows the answer to this one. Erect another section of scaffolding. In the final question, stairs that are incomplete and missing handrails are acceptable to use during the construction phase of the project. True or false? And I hope everyone knows the answer to this. The answer is false. All right, boys and girls, that's it for this video. This is video 2 of 4. The next video we'll be talking about some fall protection measures. safety nets, guardrails, personal fall protection, and a couple others. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a thumbs up down below here to encourage me to make more videos of this type. Also, subscribe to my channel where you'll find additional videos of this nature, other safety-related videos, and leadership training videos. And until we see each other again, take care of yourself because you're number one. Look out for your co-workers and help ensure their safety. Have a grateful day, and remember, I will see you in the field.